Ahangamagi Teuda Ariyaratne was born on 5th November 1931 in the southern coastal village of Unawatuna, Sri Lanka. Growing up under the guidance of learned Buddhist monks, Ari memorized scriptures, practiced virtues, cultivated boundless love for humanity.
When I see heaps of coconut husks everywhere here and coconut trees around and the sea on that side, my house on this side, immediately my mind goes back to my 14th year when I was attending Mahinda College. Every day I got 25 cents for my tea from my home. So I was getting onto the main road on my push bicycle when a lady stopped me, one Lucy Nonak I remember, and then she asked for 25 cents. Those days measure of rice was 25 cents. So I gave it to her and went to school. Then a couple of days later I was walking on the seashore when I saw her spinning coconut fiber. Then I asked her how much she earned every week. She said 2 rupees a week. And then I asked her how much the middleman earning. She didn't know. So I went and found out middleman was earning about 8 rupees, 4 times more than what she was earning. And the export company to which middleman was selling this stuff, they were selling it is twice the price. So actually this worker got 1/16 of what she deserved. So I started the first cooperative Koya Worker Society in my village at the age of 14. And I was there as the secretary for 2 full years when others took over. Right through my education at Mahinda College and even in my own village, I was not happy with the social economic structure in which we were living. And I thought nothing short of a total revolution can bring about some kind of happy, contented joy for the people as a whole. A revolution not only in the structures, but revolution in the consciousness of people, revolution in the way people do things, the principles they accept and the morality they follow. All these things were necessary for a total revolution.
In 1957, while teaching at Nalanda College, a leading Buddhist school in Sri Lanka, Ari got an opportunity to visit India for the first time.
When Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, I was a teenager. Actually, I was 16 years of age. I heard the news at a railway station. The moment I saw the headlines, somehow tears came to my eyes. I didn't know why. Only thing I knew was there was a great man who tried to bring about a freedom struggle in India without shedding blood, but with non-violence and love, has been shot by a criminal. Now that was enough for me to get my heart melted, and I really cried. Then I was interested in finding out who this Mahatma Gandhi was. And subsequently, a few years later, I had the opportunity to come to India. I couldn't see Mahatma Gandhi, then he was dead and gone, but I was able to meet Acharya Vinoba Bhave, who was his principal spiritual heir. I met him and I walked with him in his Bhudan or land gift movement, and I was very much inspired by him. Later I was inspired by Sri Jayaprakash Narayan, Asha Devi, Moraji Desai, and so many other leaders who were followers of Mahatma Gandhi. During my second visit to India, there was a big new education fellowship conference in New Delhi, which was attended by Sri Jawaharlal Nehru and several other great Indian leaders. And for the first time, I heard the word Sarvodaya, a word coined by Mahatma Gandhi in 1908. So I immediately decided, when I returned home, I would call the Shramadana movement we had initiated the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement.
Mahatma Gandhi combined two Sanskrit words, Sarvam and Udayam, to coin the word Sarvodaya. He explained it as welfare of all. Ari gave a deeper meaning to the same word based on Buddha's teachings. He interpreted the word Sarvodaya as awakening of all, which combines spiritual and social change and emphasizes enlightenment through sharing.
I was wondering whether preparing students for examinations, giving them a textbook-based, classroom-oriented education for the purpose of passing exams and getting jobs, is it the right kind of education? I thought that was not education. Education is total personality awakening of the individual to face every possible challenges in life satisfactorily and live a life of joy, life of happiness. So I thought ways and means of doing it through service to humanity. So I thought, being a teacher at Nalanda College, I could start a sustained movement for uplifting the poor. So with my experience with another colleague who helped me to understand the backward communities, I was able to select one of those villages called Kanathuluwa.
Kanathuluwa is a village situated 67 miles away from the capital city of Colombo. 40 poverty-stricken families lived in this village. They were one of the poorest, marginalized and oppressed in the island Ceylon in late 50s. These people were classified as untouchables, belonging to a caste called Rodias.
Kanathuluwa camp was the beginning of a new era, not only to ourselves, I believe to our country also. Mrs. Bandaranaike, who was the wife of the Prime Minister at that time, visited this village, which was a great help for us, and we got very wide publicity in the national press. Breaking caste barrier was my hidden, unexpressed wish at that time was fulfilled. To the outsiders, what we were doing was really revolutionary. That is, very well-to-do teachers, students, others coming down to a lowliest kind of village, doing physical work, transforming the village physically, also socially by interacting with them as equals. That was a revolutionary thing for people. Hundreds who visited and saw our work. But for us, it was something different. We used to call it, we build the road builds us.
The word Shramadana literally means gift of labor. it had a magical attraction. It captured the moral imagination of thousands. In effect, Shramadana action spreads faster than Sarvodaya thought. Between 1958 and 1966, more than 300,000 volunteers were taken to hundreds of rural sites to participate in community development projects. This gift of labor concept spread through the country. It took the form of building and repairing houses, schools, construction of water wells, latrines, bridges, cleaning of irrigation canals, planting trees, and 100 other activities.
What Sarvodaya did in those, right from the early years, was to bring in Tamils and also Muslims when they would have their village meetings, which they called Paul Hamua, family gatherings. They would honor, at the beginning, there would be an honoring of the faiths, but they would begin with the minority faith. And there would be pause to give homage to the sacred in Hindu terms, and in Christian terms, and in Muslim terms, before the majority religion of Buddhism.
After having participative discussions with many thousands of villagers, Sarvodaya identified 10 basic needs that must be satisfied in a just society. It highlights not only economic and social needs, but also spiritual, moral, and cultural requirements. They are clean and beautiful environment, clean and adequate supply of water, minimum supply of clothing requirements, adequate supply of food, basic health care, a modest house, energy requirements, basic communication, total education, and spiritual and cultural needs. In the year 1969, the world celebrated the birth centenary of the leader of the Indian freedom movement, Mahatma Gandhi. Sarvodaya launched its 100 village development program to commemorate this event. It is a coincidence that Ari received the illustrious Raman Magsaysay Award for Community Leadership in the same year. For his non-violent approach to community development, in 1996, Ari became the second recipient of the Gandhi Peace Award from the Government of India. In the following years, Ari got nominated for the prestigious Nobel Peace Award 3 times. Yet, with all the hard work put in to bridge the divide between communities, worst ever communal violence took place in Sri Lanka in 1983, shattering the peace and harmony. The entire country went up in flames overnight. During these worst communal riots faced in Sri Lanka, Ari and his Sarvodaya Shanti Sena Peace Brigade fearlessly took to the streets, risking lives and limbs against parties of vested interest, lethal underworld, and even powerful political elements to prevent violence against minority Tamils. In the ensuing months, Sarvodaya launched a series of interfaith dialogues, mass peace meditations, and peace walks across the country to begin the process of healing.
We believe that wars begins in the minds of people. unless you clean the mind from all kinds of differences, communal hatred, religious differences, religious hatred, and teach the people the importance of having a mind which has nothing but loving kindness towards all living beings, and the collective aggregate of all those thoughts will create a kind of critical mass of consciousness that will affect the minds of all the other people, and who will then feel, oh, let us get rid of violence. So
Since 1983, ARI has led over 1,000 multi-religious mass peace meditation programs across the country, including war-ravaged North and East during the height of civil unrest. The zenith of this effort was a gathering of over 800,000 peace lovers belonging to all faiths to meditate upon lasting peace.
So far what we have practiced is a drop in the ocean, because Buddha's teachings is so vast. What we have taken is a handful out of a large forest, handful of leaves out of a large forest. Therefore, in the future, I hope our second and third generations who have taken over the implementation of this movement will be able to add a little bit more from the teachings to the well-being of all people in our country and in the world.